are known around the independent wrestling world, and also known around the world as Team Fearless. They put a positive message out for Jesus Christ, and I think that's awesome. I want to right now bring on Scotty Matthews. Hello, is this Scotty? Hello?
Yo.
Hello. Hey,
Yo.
is this Scotty Matthews or Lodi?
You got to ask which is which. You don't have one of those fancy boards to tell you who's calling in. This is LODI, not Scotty Matthews.
Okay.
Come on now. It's the 704 number. It's the Queen City.
Okay.
Lodi's calling from Charlotte.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome to the show, Lodi. I'm going to bring on Scotty Matthews. I actually got y'all's area codes, but I didn't get which one was which.
Not
Okay.
a problem. I'm just giving you a hard time, man.
Oh, I know. That's fine. Okay. Hello, Scotty. Welcome to the show.
How you doing? Hi, Lodi.
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hey,
Doing
Scotty,
good.
Scotty's going to be a lot nicer to you than I am. It's kind of like the good cop, bad cop routine. Scotty's the good
Okay.
cop. I'm the bad cop, okay?
All right.
That's fine. I wanna start off first with actually some questions for you, Lodi.
Of course.
You graduated from East Carolina University in 1988
Yes, I
with a
did.
degree in political science in 1993. Can you tell us about that?
Graduated with a degree in political science from East Carolina University. I think you just told everybody what I did. That's it.
I mean, can you tell us
science.
about?
I always wanted to go
Yeah.
to law school. You know, I was going to grow up and be a lawyer and go make the big bucks and do that kind of stuff. And I got sidetracked in college and decided to become a competitive bodybuilder and a meathead. And as soon as I graduated with my degree in political science, couldn't wait to open up a personal training studio. So therein, my degree now helps me with my personal training studio and my professional wrestling career.
That's awesome. Harold?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to follow up on that. Now, Lodi, you had a neck surgery. Can you tell us, how that happened? And you were out for a long time.
Yeah, I can make it quick because I talked about it a lot. I've actually had 2 neck surgeries. I had the first one in 1994. Had an injury in the gym on a hack squat machine and ruptured a cervical disc in my neck. Had that removed in 94, and that's before I ever started wrestling. So then I started wrestling, and my second one was 2002. Had a cervical disc between C4 and C5 removed and replaced it with a bone plug and a titanium plate and 4 screws. And now I'm darn near superhuman and back at it. But, yeah, I was out for about 18 months.
Oh, okay. You're robotic, I guess.
Robotic, bionic, whatever you want to call it.
He's a star.
Right.
I'm part $6 million man, but you get me for like $5.99.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Who actually came up with the words on the signs you held up in WCW? Was that your ideas or was that creative?
You know, no one at WCW office had anything to do with my signs other than the very end, just approving them. The ideas, the majority of them were mine, and the rest were a conglomeration of all the boys in the back. I got help from everybody from Dean Malenko to, yes, I'll say his name right here quick. Bill DeMott gave me sign ideas. Of course, Raven gave me sign ideas. Perry Saturn gave me sign ideas. And then when I was with Lenny, he came up with a few.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually got one of your signs you autographed for me back in, I want to say, the late 90s. You were working for Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling, Dusty Rhodes, Thomas and Georgia.
The late 90s, that was actually 2000 when I was working for Turnbuckle.
Oh, okay.
We got out of the 90s, yeah.
2000. Okay, 2000.
You try to
And,
dig you there, kid.
yeah, on the sign it says, "Shut up, you bunch of rednecks." That's what it says.
Could you imagine that? Lodi carrying a sign that says, "Shut up, you bunch of rednecks." Yeah, I've used that one once or twice.
Okay.
Now, Scotty Matthews, I know you've been wrestling here in Georgia, where me and Brian are from. Do you have any more shows coming up here in Georgia?
No, we don't have anything in Georgia for quite some time. It's been a minute since we've been down there, but we got some other stuff coming up around North Carolina, South Carolina, hope to be back to Georgia soon. I think Team Fearless does pretty good down there in Georgia when we come through.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Since you guys are from Georgia, all you need to do is talk to some promoters down there and say, hey, you need to bring in Team Fearless. So you guys in Georgia, talk to your promoter friends down there, put that on your airways down there, and let them know Team Fearless has boots and we will travel.
Okay.
I'll definitely put in word to them.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Your in-ring debut was actually against Chris Benoit. How was that?
Yes. It was actually, from a wrestling standpoint and career, one of the greatest nights of my life. Somebody who I idolized and looked up to as far as a wrestler. And then my first match on live TV on Nitro in Buffalo in front of whatever the Midland Arena held, like 18,000, 19,000 people. It's a pretty cool deal for me, and the most professional guy I've ever been in the ring with. He was, bar none, he was excellent at what he did and a true professional in the ring. And so that was a great night for me.
Yeah, I think he was an awesome athlete. I know that he put on some of the greatest matches that there ever was, you ever seen. I mean, he was a top competitor. I have to agree with you on that.
Technically, he was super sound and very much one of the most professional wrestlers I've ever known.
Now, Scotty, you trained with C.W. Anderson, one of the, I guess he was with ECW at the time. He's one of my favorite, I would say, underrated guys. How was it learning from him? Well,
we gotta backtrack a little bit. I actually started out at Timber the Lumberjack School in Fayetteville, and it just so happened that my training partner and I spent a lot of time at the school after class, and Lodi and a good friend of his, Toad, or at the time Frog from WCW and the Power Plant, was coming down to work with a guy and get him ready for some dark matches. So they were coming down and spending some extra time, and we were trying to soak up all the training we could. And through that, they got us booked on a show in Raleigh for a promotion called SCW. It's one of the most notorious promotions in the Carolinas. A lot of history. Matt, Jeff, the Hardys came through there. Shannon Moore, all those guys. So super prestigious opportunity to work in front of that crowd. And CW happened to be there that night. He was back from one of his early tours from Japan, and he saw us. And next thing you know, CW started coming down to the school and working with me and my partner. And from there, it just kind of graduated to some feelings got hurt, some toes got stepped on because they felt like we were getting a little bit more attention. But really what it was is we were a little bit more attentive than everybody else. So in the process of us being asked to leave that school, CW invited us to go back to the hallowed nursery barn on exit 87 on I-95. And it didn't matter if we worked for Bill Barron's at Wild Side on Saturday night. Every Sunday we had to be in Newton Grove, standing tall in the middle of the ring by 12 o'clock. And that's where we basically started from scratch. And another thing, that CW was a power plant guy also, so we got the best of both worlds when it came to training, because we got the WCW style of training mentality. So we did the squats and the push-ups and everything that the guys at the power plant were going through. Basically, we went back and through that tryout just so CW knew how serious we were. He taught us bumps, everything that we'd learned for the past year. Anytime we stepped in that building, we were brand new students, and he taught us from the ground up. So we got the best of the WCW training in psychology. We got the best of the ECW psychology, and then the infusion of the Japanese 01 style incorporated with that. So, I mean, I don't think you could have a better or well-rounded training or trainer on the face of the planet. And I will say that he's definitely one of the most underrated guys that's ever stepped foot in the ring, because anytime he's in between the ropes, he just moves like butter, melted butter. That's not a fat joke.
Not a fat joke.
All right.
Lodi, I want to ask you, is it true? Now, this is just a rumor. Now, you can set this to rest right here on the show. Is it true that due to bad press and WCW from the fans and everything getting upset at you and Lenny Lane at the time, the West Hollywood Blonde gimmick, that Ted Turner actually fired Eric Bischoff as vice president?
No. I mean, there were rumors floating around that we were part of, some things that they weren't happy about, but I don't think we had anything to do with Eric Bischoff getting fired.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we got in some trouble with GLAAD, the Gay and Lesbian Defamation, and they protested. But by that time, Turner had already sold, and AOL Time Warner owned the company. That's why we got sent home, because they didn't want to deal with the special interest group. So, we were not a reason for Bischoff getting fired or being let go or any of that stuff.
Okay. Thank you for setting the record straight on that.
Hey, no problem.
Lodi, I read that you went to the power plant training too. Did you go with Sarge, Dwayne Bruce? Did you go? Yes, I
did. I went through Dwayne Bruce's 3-day tryout. We had 40-some guys show up on Wednesday, and by Friday morning there were 3 of us left, and 3 of us made it through till lunch on Friday. And there was a guy who was about 6'4", 6'5". They nicknamed him Spider-Man because he was kind of skinny. There was another kid that made it through who was maybe 5'7", 5'8", and they pulled us in the office at the end of the 3rd day, and they're like, "Hey, you guys all made it through the tryout." They told me, like to invite me back. Go to school down there. They told the tall guy, I'd like to invite you back. They told the short guy, you're too short. You never make it. Good luck making it. Congratulations on making it through the trial, but we can't use you. So they took his tryout money, put him through the tryout, and then basically told him he wasn't big enough. Which I thought was, pretty awesome, but, pretty mean at the same time. Poor kid, busted his rear end to get through it and got kicked to the curb at the end, even though he made it. So, I made it through and then moved down the following Monday to start school and went through the power plant training, and shortly thereafter met Raven and became his personal assistant and personal trainer, and he got me a job on TV about 2 months later, and the rest is kind of history.
Did you guys see Lodi's cameo in Beyond the Mat?
I've seen that, but I don't remember seeing Lodi in it. I have to take a look at it again.
Just look for the guy in the spandex.
Okay.
with the long dark hair.
Was Bill DeMott there, or was he doing anything when you were training, or was he not?
Yeah,
not a trainer.
He was wrestling on TV for WCW.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
didn't know if he was a trainer too.
No, sir, he was not. Down at the power plant, we had Pistol Pez Watley, God rest his soul, Mike Winter, and Dwayne Bruce, Sarge.
Right. I heard he was a powerhouse.
Down there a little bit too?
What's that?
Wasn't Paul Orndorff down there too a little bit doing some of the training?
At the end. He wasn't there when I was there. Orndorff came after me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just making conversation.
Hey, no problem. We can talk. I can talk for at least another 15 minutes before my next personal training client needs to be beat up. She's spanking no, she's not spanking a monkey. She's spanking an elliptical trainer. I didn't know what she was doing over there. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I'm at the gym. I'm actually at my other job.
Okay. How did you become a personal trainer? I mean, I know you're in good shape and all that stuff, but
well, when I was in college to get money for school, I joined the Army Reserve, and so going in, I wanted to take a job that allowed me to go to my job training after basic training during the summer, so I wouldn't miss any college. And so I was a scrub nurse in the military. I worked in the operating room, and like I said, I had met a personal trainer and got involved in bodybuilding when I was in college. So I took my background with anatomy and physiology from my being a scrub nurse and the things my personal trainer had taught me, which he was a great motivator, and I always talk to everybody that I owe him a lot for not only teaching me how to work out and inspire me to motivate me. And so I just became so involved with it. It's what I wanted to do for a living. And so I've had 2 jobs as an adult, and both of them never feel like work.
Okay.
Speaking of Raven, who you mentioned a few minutes ago, how was it for you being in Raven's flock?
Well, Raven and I were friends first before I started on TV, and like I said, he hired me as his personal trainer, and then I started doing some work as his personal assistant. And so the funny thing was, the roles we fell into on TV and the role we carried out in the flock was a lot of what we did in real life. So, I mean, he and I were friends, and then, like I said, all the guys in the flock were good friends of mine. Like this past weekend, Sick Boy and I worked together down in Charleston, South Carolina. And we still do some shows together in South Carolina. So, 3 of these days, so I'm not tagging with Scotty for Team Fearless. I'm tagging with Sick Boy and doing some flock stuff. So the good news is, I've always got somebody in my corner. And the good news is they're both bigger and stronger than I am, so they carry most of the load. See, that's how you work smart in this business. You find somebody else that's bigger and stronger than you are, and then you can kind of ride their coattails.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I wanna say, Lodi, last year you sent me a shirt in the mail, and
yes, sir.
It was such a blessing to me. That shirt that says, "I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me." I mean, that has such a positive message, and I just want to thank you for always putting out a positive note to the fans, and telling people about Christ. And I've watched so many of your videos, Lodi Licks, that you put on YouTube. I've watched so many of them. They're so inspirational, and I just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Hey, man, not a problem. Most people today on the internet, and they can look up some of my past, and they can read about my demons and some of the ugly things I went through and did. But, I'm walking proof that if God can turn me around, God can use anybody. And so the verses on the back of my Lodi shirts, obviously Philippians 4:13 is my favorite Bible verse. And, those shirts, the one I sent you and the shirts I sell at the shows, have to thank Scotty for those because, Scotty is the man behind Fearless Fight Gear and the Carolina Strong Style T-shirts. That is all Scotty's brainchild. So when I need new T-shirts, I go to Scotty. He designs and comes up with all that stuff, and he's the one that turns out such a great product. So yeah, Scotty's the man that does all that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I wanted to ask Scotty a question. He teamed at one time a few years ago, I guess, with Robert Gibson, and they wrestled Hot Like Lava, who I know some of them from here in Georgia. How was that match?
You know what? That was one of those experiences. It was kind of like a surreal thing because you never know when you're going to have the opportunity to stand in as one of the Rock and Roll Express, one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Right.
And the thing about it is like I had wrestled against them before. So that was just one of those like fun opportunities. It's almost like once in a lifetime things, I guess, depending on where you are and how often you bump into those guys. But man, it was a blast. I mean, I got to do all the rock and roll spots, and it was a lot of fun to kind of like recreate some of the stuff that that of course. And Robert is just. I don't think a lot of people give Robert credit either, but when you're inside that ring, like Robert has a mind for this business that goes beyond words. Just everything flows real, just unbelievable. And the funny thing about that is, just to even add to that, is a couple months later at WrestleCade that year, I actually wrestled under the mask as one of the Russians with Ivan in our corner.
Wow.
Against Ricky and Robert at the same time. So I stood, like I said, I stood side by side them and toe to toe with them. And I got to, and real quick, let me throw Ricky Morton in there. Ricky Morton is actually the guy that talked me into actually wrestling and use my real name as Scotty Matthews instead of trying to be a comic book character. I started out as Malachi, but Ricky sat me down one day and he gave me the 411 on how to present yourself instead of a character, and it's definitely been a blessing there as well. But yeah,
Hold on a second, Scotty. So you're telling me you wrestled under a mask as a Russian? You're not Russian. Hey man, I'm beginning to think this professional wrestling thing is now on the up and up. He wrestled as a wrestler. That just blew. My goodness.
Hey, look, where's kayfabe? I know, but
I'm beginning to question everything I know about the business now.
Yeah, but the only reason why I tell that story so freely is because even though I'm covered from head to toe, my tattoos are covered. You can't, like, people are literally chanting my name as I'm in the ring doing the business. Like,
next you're going to tell me Brutus the Barber Beefcake can't cut hair.
I don't know. I think didn't he cut somebody's hair at WrestleCade this year?
He's a barber. Of course he cuts somebody's hair. It's what he does. Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah, he would have lied about that.
My goodness.
I got a
income's not a dentist.
I got a question for you, Scotty. I know you used to work with CZW. Have you ever wrestled Frankie Pritchard?
No, the stuff I did in CZW, my first night there was with Tony Mamaluke, a guy that I'm sure that sure that Lodi's familiar with.
Hey, he was a Lodi fan, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my greatest fan. He kept jumping in our matches. Little Mamaluke.
But Tony. My first deal was with Tony Mamaluke, and then I did a couple other things with some of the local guys. But no, I think I want to say ended up doing a 4-way one night with DZ Hyde back in the day. But I honestly I couldn't even tell you who the guy you gave me the name. I apologize.
Okay, well, I seen him on Instagram, and he started following me, but I have no idea who he is either. I just know his name's Frankie Pritchard. I know he works with CZW, but I honestly don't know who he is either. but I know that you worked for TNA and WWE before. How were those experiences?
You know, honestly, I had those opportunities early in my career, and I think they were kind of like, this is going to sound ridiculous coming from an indie guy who's never had a contract, but I really honestly believe that, especially when it comes to my walk with faith and all that, that those opportunities were stepping stones. And the reason why I say that is because I wrestled for both companies several times, and sometimes when you thank God for things, you got to think of for things that He's removed from your life. So it was great for me to experience working for those companies, but I think that God's plan for me was a little bit different. And I mean, it's not like they're going to come knocking on my door tomorrow and hire me. So by no means do I think that's but then again, Luke 1:37 says, with God, nothing's impossible. So, but the bottom line is that the experience that I had there was enough to kind of like punch that ticket for me. But then and I went through a dark time of being bitter about not ever getting a job, and some other things happened in the process. But when the realization came that the ring was a platform that I've been given to do ministry and reach people, that the stage was set by God and not me. So I kind of it definitely relieved a lot of that depression and a lot of that stress about not ever having a job. But I've been blessed to do things in wrestling as a guy without having a contract that a lot of people just go, well, that doesn't happen a lot. So I'm definitely thankful for every bump that I've taken, every building I've wrestled in, every fan that I've had the chance to come in contact with. I just wish that I would have been a little bit more mindful and listened to that voice telling me in my ear, I got something bigger for you, because I wasted 12 years of my wrestling career, wrestling for myself, wrestling for glory, wrestling for fame, fortune, all that stuff. And, it really took that little whisper in my ear to say, hey, that's not why you do that. This is why. And I definitely think that the past 3.5, 4 years have been probably the funnest and probably most productive years of my wrestling career, just because the opportunities allowed me to create Fearless Fight gear, the opportunity to speak with youth, youth groups and travel around and just, live a positive life for people to be motivated by. And I think that it's all by his design.
Amen. That's awesome.
Feel like I went to church now. Feel like I had a sermon.
Yeah.
We can go there. We can go there.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Speaking, Scotty, I wanted to speak to you. I read one of your trademark, I guess your finishing holds is the Holy Ghost. Is that one of them, and what is that?
No. That's I believe that's one of Caprice Coleman's. I honestly I love Caprice, and Caprice has a lot to do with my walk in faith as well. But I've kind of tried to keep any of my holds away from, I guess, I don't know. I don't want to commercialize my faith too much to the point to where
right.
I don't want to pick somebody up and drop them on their head and that's the deliverance or something like that.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe I got a little bit of
we decided to take out the holy hip toss and the amen arm drag. That was just a bit much.
All right. Well, maybe I got some misinformation. I just this sometimes happens. So.
Oh yeah, no big deal. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Like when I talk about my faith in the ring, like it's 100% genuine.
Right.
I step away from the bravado of love me because I'm a good guy. No, love me because don't even love me. Love what I'm talking about because this is the truth. This is a real, tangible a faith. And so I think if you can push the envelope too far, but you kind of, if it's spirit led, you got to rock with it. But.
Right. Okay. Well, I understand, and thank you for straightening that up.
And again, that's not a knock on Caprice. I know Caprice has some moves that are named with faith-based stuff, but I don't think a lot of that is actually Caprice. I think some of that is actually like the TV producers coming up with stuff.
Oh, some type of marketing thing.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
How did the team of Team Fearless actually form?
Hey, you know what? That is a perfect question for me to pass off to Scotty and tell you guys. I got some personal training clients I got to get back to work with. I appreciate you guys having me on. And the part of the part of Team Fearless I'll explain, and then I want Scotty to take over all the rest because it's got to go all the way back to the hybrids. You got to hear about that first. But the fearless part of that is we're fearless to stand in front of anybody, anywhere, and talk about our love for Jesus Christ. That's what Team Fearless is all about. So thank you guys for having me. You guys have fun with Scotty.
Awesome.
Anything you want to ask me, you can probably ask Scotty when I'm off this call, and he can answer just as well as I can because he's my brother. He knows what's going on. Thank you guys much, and have us back on sometime, okay?
Well, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on, sir.
Thank you.
God bless.
Okay. Well, we appreciate him coming on. We know he's a busy man.
We do. We really appreciate having him on, and we appreciate having you on too, Scotty. And to continue with the interview, I want to ask you, in representing Team Fearless, what are your thoughts on the ascension in WWE acting like the Road Warriors? I mean, in my opinion, I think the promo they did when they first come in, talking about Hawk, God rest his soul, and Animal, I thought was disrespectful.
I don't think that they had any choice in doing that. I think that was written for them, and that was pretty much do this or go back home. I know Ryan O'Reilly personally, or if you want to call him Connor. I've wrestled him. He's a great guy. Has nothing but love and respect for the business. I
know him from Deep South Wrestling here in Georgia. Yeah.
I think that's just one of those things that they got stuck with, and it was like, here, do this. This is the idea we have for you, and instead of letting guys kind of try to get over on their own, I think there's a lot of scripting going on, and I hate that they got heat with the internet wrestling community because a lot of people don't realize the ins and outs of that fine tune like this is what really happens up top. And yeah, my hat's off to them for even having the opportunity. I think that I'm sure that they've definitely paid their respects to the families, and it's just one of those things that when you're in that particular situation, again, that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that I was removed from that, because like when your livelihood depends on what you say or what you do, and especially in the process of developing your faith and things like that, like sometimes you're going to make choices that are the right choice for that particular time, but might not be right for the long term.
Right.
But I would never like have anything negative to say to them about it. I definitely think that at this day and age, it's very micromanaged up there. Those guys spent a long time in developmental and definitely earned their spot. And I think that was just, I think, if you go back to the old territory days, they talk about hot shotting people. I think that was just one of those irresponsible hot shot moves to try and push them into like mega heat right off the bat. But they're definitely not those type of guys.
Okay, because I remember, I never did see them in NXT, but I remember a lot of people telling me in NXT that the Ascension, they were awesome, and they put on some good matches and stuff. And then I remember people telling me they came over to, when they came over to WWE, they were like, well, these guys wasn't nothing like this over in NXT. And, I knew it had to have something to do with the higher ups or something, to, cause them to be that way,
Right.
I know that you and Lodi have wrestled all over the Carolinas and Georgia. Have y'all ever wrestled over in Japan or Mexico?
No, the closest to Mexico we got wrestling as a tag team. We did the Christian Wrestling Federation tag tournament last summer down in Texas, but no overseas stuff. I was in the military before I joined the Army, and so before I started wrestling, I was in the Army before I started wrestling. Not you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we got this.
So I was in the Army for 9.5 years before I started wrestling. So I traveled overseas while I was in the military, but haven't had the opportunity to do any overseas stuff since I've been wrestling. I've been booked on a couple tours to Africa, Ecuador, and of course, unfortunately, tours get canceled, and it's just one of those things where things didn't quite work out the way they were supposed to. But definitely, we've wrestled Pennsylvania together, Virginia, West Virginia.
Wow.
Georgia, South Carolina. I think we actually did some stuff in Tennessee together. But yeah, we like you said, we started out as the hybrids back before we both made the decision to give our lives completely over to Christ and serve serve as a wrestling ministry. And we both were going through some things at the time, and I probably lost contact for about 5 years, and finally ended up back together. And that's when Team Fearless came about, and we started doing the Team Fearless thing, and it's definitely changed tag team wrestling for us.
Wow, that's awesome.
Since you've been around a few years now, you have any advice for any of the younger wrestlers out there? Maybe just starting out.
Learn how to wrestle, and I'm not talking about WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor. I'm talking about get on the mat and actually learn how to wrestle. Remember, if you think you're going too fast, slow down. If you think you're going too slow down even more. Find the cameras. Always ask a veteran. Be willing to be criticized. Be willing to learn. Every time you get in the ring should be a learning experience, no matter how many years you've been in the business. And just just take pride in what you do. Get in the gym, work out, train, and look like a wrestler. I mean, bottom line.
Right.
It's not something. I mean, go ahead.
Oh
Hello?
no, you go ahead and finish. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, you just have to listen to those veterans. Take each match as a learning experience, and don't look at it like it's a part-time thing. You have to understand that when you make a commitment to something like this, there's people's lives are in the balance. So you've got to commit yourself fully to it. So get out of that weekend warrior mentality. Promote yourself. Nobody's going to promote you like you. Don't be cocky. Don't be arrogant about it. But don't be afraid to like reach out to people and say, hey, I don't have anything coming up. I saw you running a show. Do you have anything? Is there any way I can come and learn from you? Take advantage of every opportunity you have to actually get in the ring and get your reps in.
Right.
Like I'm a referee, and I think I'm pretty sure I've been in the ring with you before, maybe in Georgia a few years ago. I was telling Brian that. But anyway, how important is a referee in your mind in a wrestling match? Is that?
I mean, honestly, the referee is, I believe, is the glue that actually keeps it together. Without going too far into like the psychology, as we call it, in the back. A referee can make or break a match just by being involved and paying attention to what's going on. And I mean, you got to think about it. Like, I mean, if you look at a wrestling match, a standard wrestling match, it's one-on-one. There's 3 people in that ring at all times. So all three people are just as important as the other, whether a ref's taking bumps or not. I think that, you know, whether it be time, movement, placement, all that stuff, a ref can set the tone for a match just by making sure that, you know, that the things are where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Sometimes
I like to ask that question of the wrestlers just to see, you know, what their answers are, you know.
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I'll use a ref in a heartbeat if you know what I'm talking about, without like going too far into detail with that.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
I mean, I'll talk to you the whole match if I need to.
Right. Okay. We'll just leave it like that. Okay.
One thing I wanted to bring up, last night on WWE Raw, they did something I think was very, very, I don't know how to say, heartfelt and great by having a Warrior Award and inducting Connor, the 8-year-old boy who passed away of cancer last year. I think that was very heartfelt by what they did. What are your thoughts on that, Scotty?
Oh man, that was awesome. I actually watched it this morning I watched it this morning on Hulu, and if I could plug I'm actually doing a Seek and Destroy Cancer event here in Fayetteville.
Yes,
next
please
weekend.
tell us about it.
Yes, go ahead.
So we're actually raising money for I'm gonna say this wrong. I think it's myocellular cancer. It's a very, very, very rare form of cancer that's found in children. Typically, about 200 diagnoses per year. I could be wrong, but it's very rare. So the research and funding is very necessary for this cancer type of cancer in children.
Right.
But the event's called Seek and Destroy Cancer. It's at the John D. Fuller Rec Center in Fayetteville. It's an all-day fan festival. I believe that they're doing an event the night before. Some of the local rock bands are coming together to help raise money. It's going to be a great event. Steve Carino is going to be there. Jesse Neal, Gunner, myself, Lodi. A lot of local independent guys are going to be there. It's just going to, and the whole thing is to raise money for this cancer.
Well, that sounds great.
Cancer research.
That does. That sounds wonderful. We got about 3 more minutes left in the show. You have any upcoming appearances or anything you'd like? Besides what you just said, you have any upcoming appearances for you and Lodi you'd like to plug or anything?
Yeah, let's plug the YouTube and or not YouTube, but the Facebook, Twitter stuff. You can find him at Brad Kane on Facebook. You can find me at Scotty Matthews on Facebook. My Twitter handle is Scotty44Matthews. His is at Lodi1Brad. We will be in Halifax, Virginia on the 22nd after the Seek and Destroy Cancer event next Saturday. We're speaking to a youth group. They're bringing in some rock bands. We're going to do like a youth invasion thing there. You can get the information off of our Facebook pages, off our Twitter. Check out AML Wrestling in Winston-Salem. We're live on CW20. And Pro Wrestling Now out of Fayetteville, brand new promotion. Awesome talent. Let's see. Check out Territory League, based out of California. My good friend and family member, Rikishi's going in the Hall of Fame this year, so please reach out to them and show some love and support. Knox Pro Training in California is probably one of the best wrestling schools out right now. But we're all over the map. We're from old school championship wrestling down in South Carolina to, there's a lot of stuff coming up over the next couple months. On the 2nd of May, I'm in Virginia Beach for Megastars of Wrestling. Make sure you check out that event. But again, check out those Facebook and Twitter pages, and let's make some noise.
Okay, well, we want to thank you for being on, Scotty. And I don't know what happened to my co-host, but I don't know, but his line got dropped or something happened. But me and speaking for Harold, my co-host, we want to both thank you for being on the show today, and thank Lodi for being on the show, and we hope that y'all will come back again soon and continue doing what you're doing for God and through Team Fearless, and just continue getting the word out there. And we both wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors and whatever you do in life.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's very humbling to have opportunities like this to come on and actually have your voice be heard. And again, all credit and glory goes to God. I mean, He gives us the stage, and it's our responsibility to do what He asks us to do. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Amen. You're very welcome. Thank you for being on.
All right, take care.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Scotty Matthews and Lodi from Team Fearless, and we want to thank you for joining us on today's show.